The great hall of Queen Althera's palace glowed under thousands of floating crystal lights. The walls shimmered with colors no human eye had ever seen, and the air vibrated with a low, humming energy. Today was supposed to be a day of celebration, the wedding of the queen's daughter, Princess Lyra, to Prince Zorith, the strongest warrior from a neighboring star system. Guests from across the galaxy had gathered. Aliens of all shapes and sizes, some tall as towers and some small as stones, had come to witness the union. The palace was filled with chatter, laughter, and excitement. But no one noticed the tension growing in the eyes of Queen Althera. She had ruled the planet Virilia for over 3 centuries. Her word was law, and no one had ever dared to disobey her. She expected her daughter to marry as she commanded. But today, everything was about to change. Princess Lyra stepped into the hall, her gown floating like liquid light. Her long hair shimmered with a color that seemed to shift in the crystal glow. She looked radiant, but there was a fire in her eyes that made the court quiet. Every alien whispered to each other, curious about her unusual calm. The queen rose from her throne, her voice strong and commanding. "Lyra, come forward and take your place beside Prince Zorith. Today, you honor your family and your planet." Lyra paused, and a strange hush fell over the crowd. Her voice was soft but firm. "Mother, I cannot marry Prince Zorith. I have chosen another." Gasps echoed through the hall. Some aliens nearly dropped their hovering trays of exotic food. The courtiers whispered urgently, and guards straightened nervously. The queen's eyes narrowed. "Another? What are you saying, Lyra?" I am marrying a human," Lyra declared. The words hit like a thunderbolt. A human? In the royal palace? The very idea was impossible. Humans were considered weak, primitive, almost invisible in galactic affairs. They had no place in the politics of powerful alien kingdoms. The queen froze. For the first time in her life, she felt disbelief. She had raised Lyra with the best education, the finest training, and every opportunity to be a perfect heir. And now her daughter chose a human, a species she had long dismissed as insignificant. "You cannot," the queen finally managed to shout, her voice trembling with anger and shock. "This is madness. A human will never take your place in our world." "Guards!" The palace guards hesitated. No one had ever seen a human in the royal palace, let alone one marrying a princess. And yet, Lyra's eyes were steady, filled with courage that even the queen could not ignore. Lyra turned slightly, and at the far end of the hall, the human appeared. His eyes were calm, yet full of determination. He wore a simple outfit compared to the ornate armor of the alien princes, yet there was a presence about him that made the room feel different. Quietly, he walked toward Lyra, holding his head high, unafraid of the whispers and stares. The queen's shock turned into rage. "This is an insult. Guards, remove him at once." But Lyra stood firm. "No, mother. I will not marry Zorith. I will not marry anyone except him. I love him, and I will not change my choice. If you try to stop me, you will go against your own daughter." The room went silent. Every eye was on Lyra and the human. The guards looked at each other nervously. The courtiers murmured about rebellion and scandal. Some whispered that the queen might take drastic measures. Prince Zorith, tall and fierce, stepped forward. "This is unacceptable. You will honor the agreement." His voice boomed like a drum, but Lyra did not flinch. "I will honor my heart, not an old agreement," Lyra said simply. For a moment, the queen could hardly breathe. Her mind raced. She had ruled countless battles, faced deadly enemies, and outwitted the cleverest politicians. But nothing had prepared her for this, a human standing in her palace, chosen by her daughter, defying centuries of tradition. The human stopped in front of Lyra, and for the first time, the queen saw something she did not expect: calmness. Confidence. A quiet bravery that was rare in her world. He reached for Lyra's hand, and she took it without hesitation. "Do you accept this, human?" the queen demanded, her voice sharper than ever. "I do," he said simply, his voice steady, carrying a strange weight that made some aliens flinch. A murmur ran through the hall. Could it be possible? Could a human, someone so weak in appearance, really stand here and claim a princess? The queen's mind refused to accept it. The wedding ceremony began, despite the queen's protests. Lyra and the human stood together as the officiant began the sacred vows. The queen's fury burned inside her like a wildfire. She had to find a way to stop this, to reclaim her daughter, to restore the honor of her house. But for now, she watched helplessly as her daughter smiled at the human, and he returned the smile. Every movement, every word between them was simple, yet filled with meaning and courage. The queen realized that she was witnessing something extraordinary, something she could not control. The ceremony ended, and the crowd erupted into confusion, applause, and some cautious acceptance. The aliens were stunned. Humans were never meant to be in this place of power. And yet, here they were, standing proud and unshaken. As Lyra and the human left the hall, the queen sat back on her throne, her mind racing. No one defied me, she thought. No one has ever dared to challenge my will. But today, her own daughter had done the impossible. And the queen knew one thing for certain: this was only the beginning. Outside the palace, the galaxy seemed calm, unaware of the storm that was about to begin. The human held Lyra's hand, unaware of the challenges that awaited them. And the queen, silent and plotting, began to consider her next move. The humans had survived the impossible wedding, but the real test was yet to come. For the queen would not forgive, and the universe would soon witness the clash of human courage and alien power. And so began the most unexpected story in the galaxy, a story of love, courage, and rebellion, a story no one would forget. The galaxy outside Virelia's palace seemed calm, but beneath the silence, tension simmered. Queen Althera sat in her private chamber, her fingers drumming on a crystal table. The human, he had dared to take her daughter as his own. Every thought of him made her blood boil. How could someone so insignificant, so fragile in appearance, challenge her world? Yet, there was something strange. The human had not trembled, had not begged, had not shown fear. Instead, he had stood tall beside Lyra, holding her hand as if the entire galaxy belonged to them. That confidence gnawed at the queen, stirring unease she could not explain. Far away, on Earth, the human, whose name was Kale, stood on a quiet hill overlooking his small village. Life here was simple. No alien fleets, no floating palaces, no laws of interstellar empires. Yet Kale felt the weight of what he had done. He had married a princess, defied a queen, and stepped into a galaxy of danger he barely understood. Lyra held his hand tightly. "They will try to separate us," she said softly. Her eyes were worried, but her voice was calm. "The queen is powerful. She will not forgive this." Kale nodded. "I know. But I am ready. I will protect you, and maybe even surprise them." Unseen by them, sensors from Virelia's palace had already begun monitoring the couple. Queen Althera had dispatched her most trusted spies, creatures that could vanish and appear anywhere, to observe every move of the human and Lyra. The spies reported back strange things. Kale moved with a precision and cleverness the queen had never expected. Even in a simple human village, he was aware of his surroundings, predicting danger before it came. At the same time, on Virelia, the queen convened her council. Prince Zoreth paced impatiently. "Mother, this human is nothing. We can crush him easily. He cannot survive in our world." The queen shook her head slowly. "It is not his strength I fear," she said. "It is his mind. Something about him, something unusual. We must not underestimate him." Meanwhile, Lyra and Kale began learning about each other's worlds. Kale shared Earth's simple ways, how humans solved problems with ingenuity rather than power. Lyra explained the politics of alien courts, where loyalty and strength were everything. Together, they discovered a shared strategy. Lyra's knowledge of the galaxy and Kale's cleverness could make them stronger than anyone expected. One night, under the twin moons of Earth, Kale whispered, "I think we can turn the queen's fear into something useful." Lyra raised her eyebrows. "Useful? What do you mean?" Kale smiled faintly. "If we show her humans are not weak, maybe she will hesitate." Maybe she will reveal her plans before she can act. Unbeknownst to them, a shadow moved in the distance. Queen Althora had sent a scout disguised as a traveling merchant. The scout's sensors were precise, and every small human action was being recorded. Yet the scout was puzzled. Kale's decisions were unpredictable, yet effective. Even the Queen's spies could not anticipate his next move. Back on Virilia, the Queen's frustration grew. "He is only human," she muttered. "He should be easy to control. But he is different. I must strike carefully." The alien court whispered about rebellion. Could a human truly challenge centuries of tradition? Could the daughter of the Queen, raised in power and privilege, find courage alongside a species so underestimated? The next day, Lyra and Kale received an unexpected message. A rival alien faction, long hostile to the Queen, had noticed the unusual union. They demanded that Lyra and Kale surrender themselves or face destruction. It was the first real threat Kale had faced beyond Earth. He looked at Lyra and said calmly, "We can't run. We face them, together." Lyra squeezed his hand. "I trust you." As the alien fleet approached Earth's orbit, something remarkable happened. Kale anticipated their strategy before they even attacked. Using simple but brilliant tactics, he led Lyra in defending their village with clever traps and bold maneuvers that even the alien scouts had not predicted. The Queen watched from Virilia, her fury deepening. How can a human?" she whispered, unable to complete the thought. For the first time, she felt uncertainty. The humans, these fragile beings, were proving that they could be more than she had ever imagined. By the end of the conflict, Kale and Lyra had survived without a single casualty from their side. Their victory was small but powerful. Word of their clever defense spread across nearby systems, shaking alien beliefs about humans. That night, as Earth's sun set behind the hills, Lyra looked at Kale. "The Queen will not stop. She will plan something bigger, something dangerous." Kale nodded. "Let her. We are ready. And the galaxy is starting to see, we are not weak." Meanwhile, in her palace, Queen Althora sat in darkness, plotting. They have survived the impossible, but the real test has yet to come. If they think humans can challenge Virilia, they will learn the cost of underestimating me. The human and princess had shown courage, cleverness, and unity. But as the stars shimmered above, the galaxy seemed quiet, yet tense. A storm was coming, one that could change everything. And so, a new chapter began, a tale of humans challenging the greatest power in the galaxy, a daughter defying her mother, and a queen who would not forgive, all while secrets and rebellion brewed in the shadows. The galaxy trembled. Word had spread quickly, humans had survived the impossible, outsmarted alien scouts, and stood strong beside the daughter of the most powerful queen in the galaxy. Whispers echoed through alien courts. Could it be, humans are not weak? Queen Althora paced her chamber. Her usual calm and authority were replaced by something sharper, an edge of fear. For centuries, no one had dared defy her. No one had challenged her power. And yet, Kale, a human, had done the unthinkable. The Queen's plan was simple but ruthless. She would strike personally. She would bring her elite forces, her deadliest warriors, and confront the human and her daughter directly. Tonight, she would make a statement: disobedience would not be tolerated. Far below, on the outskirts of a human colony, Kale and Lyra sensed something in the air. The stars seemed to pulse with energy, a warning they could feel in their bones. Kale knelt beside a small device, his fingers moving quickly over its simple controls. "They're coming," Lyra said softly, her voice calm but firm. Kale glanced at her, a small smile playing on his lips. "Let them come. They'll see humans are not so easy to destroy." In the skies above, a fleet of Virilian warships appeared, dark and massive against the stars. Queen Althora herself commanded the lead ship, radiating authority that could crush any being with a thought. Her warriors, clad in shimmering armor, prepared to strike. Kale's plan was simple in its brilliance. He studied the alien fleet and their tactics, anticipating their moves not with superior technology but with human ingenuity, unpredictability, and bold thinking. Lyra, familiar with alien protocols, helped him predict their strategies before they acted. The first attack came, a wave of energy beams slicing through the night sky. Humans and aliens alike expected chaos. But Kale had prepared traps using simple but clever methods, harnessing natural terrain, predicting enemy patterns, and turning the aliens' technology against them. Blasts meant to destroy the village were dodged, redirected, or nullified by makeshift defenses. Small rocks, wires, and human ingenuity became deadly tools against alien machines. The Queen's fleet faltered, shocked by tactics they could not anticipate. From her ship, Queen Althara's voice boomed. "Stop them! They are human! Destroy them!" Kale moved swiftly, coordinating with Lyra. He used small, unexpected maneuvers like humans always did, exploiting every weakness in the alien attack. Each success frustrated the Queen. Every misstep of her fleet was proof that humans were not as weak as she had believed. Then came the moment of confrontation. Queen Althara herself descended, her personal ship descending like a falling star, her presence overwhelming. Lyra stepped forward, facing her mother, while Kale moved beside her, unwavering. "You dare to defy me," the Queen demanded, her eyes burning like molten crystal. "You are human. You should kneel." Kale spoke simply but with unshakable calm. "We do not kneel to fear. We fight with courage. And we will not back down." The Queen unleashed her full power. Energy waves tore through the ground. Alien warriors advanced. The human village shook, and even seasoned soldiers thought victory was impossible. But Kale's brilliance shone. Using unpredictable movements, daring feints, and a deep understanding of the Queen's tactics, he led Lyra and the villagers in a counterattack. Each strike was clever, precise, and human in its ingenuity. They turned fear into strength. They turned the impossible into victory. The battle reached its climax. Kale confronted the Queen, standing tall beside Lyra. "Your power is great," he said. "But your strength is not the only measure. Courage, unity, and cleverness are stronger than you know." The Queen paused. Never before had anyone spoken to her like that. Never before had anyone faced her with such confidence. She saw the truth in Kale's eyes, a truth she had never expected. Humans were not weak. Humans were unpredictable, courageous, and resilient. Finally, she withdrew, her fleet retreating. The human and princess had survived, not through brute force, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. For the first time, the galaxy had witnessed a human triumph. As silence fell over the battlefield, Lyra hugged Kale tightly. "We did it," she whispered. "They will never forget this." Kale smiled, looking up at the stars. "And neither will we. The galaxy is changing, and humans will have their place in it." Back on Virilia, the Queen sat in her throne, quiet and thoughtful. Her fury remained, but something else had emerged, respect, begrudging and new. She realized that humans, small and seemingly fragile, could challenge even the greatest power in the galaxy. The story of Lyra and Kale spread far and wide. Other humans, once overlooked, were now seen in a new light. The galaxy began to rethink its prejudices, its rules, and its expectations. One human couple had changed everything. And so, the rebellion born of love, courage, and cleverness became a legend. A legend that would remind the universe, never underestimate the human spirit.